Hey guys, welcome back to the Blue Tiger Poker 10K Challenge. So we're getting started on Bravada tonight. It took about 10 minutes to get everything up and going. And been trying to get all the tables. Can't really get another dollar table in. Every time I've found a table that's really good, I've clicked on it and I'm a little bit late getting to it when it's spawning up. But it is a little bit craziness going on right now. Just in that 10 minutes, I've watched this is the random table. Up here on this one table, I've watched 4 quads get flopped. And I've watched queens against aces twice, where the queens hit a set. And I just watched another guy who flopped just now, right before I got able to turn this on, he called a guy off with 4-5 and the flop came 4-4-5. So this guy over here, player 6, and player 1 are just like smashing everything they need. And apparently, I guess either they've been here a while, but just in the little bit that I was able to sit here and keep track of them, it looks like people are paying them off at a high rate too. I mean, what are you going to do? The one hand is player 6 was in the small blind, and it came bet a guy 3 bets with his aces, and he calls with pocket 5s in the small blind, like $20, and ends up flopping quad 5s there, and the other guy of course pays him off because it was like 5-5 king, so you can't really say he has a 5, and of course he paid him off. And then again, it wasn't but 3 hands later that he had the 4-5, and then he also flopped quad 7s, so hence why he's at 503 on a 100 NL table. But I guess if you're on a heater and he's playing like I don't know, 50 to 60% of his hands, so very interested on that part too. So our goal is to sit here and be a little patient. The 50-cent table is very loose. It looks like pots, except for the last one, they have been multi-way a lot. So again, our hand ranges are going to be a little bit tighter, or hands that we can play in a multi-way pot pretty well. But the other table up here, I was able to play a hand or two. Nothing really spectacular. In one of those, I think one was maybe like ace-jack type of hand, flopped a jack, guy called 2 streets. And that was about it on that one. That's about all I can remember. So, but I don't know if you guys just heard that. I got some new neighbors who I guess have picked up a booming car, I guess, and so they've been cruising the streets. I mean, these are the call-offs you're seeing, is people calling off of gut shots on this table. So this table is definitely primed to make some money at. We just got to get our hands and hope that they don't flop the world when we do, which you just can't play that way, sitting there thinking, hey, they're going to hit it, they're going to hit it, they're going to hit it. So we'll look to get in there a few times and see. But again, it's hands where we're going to be value betting a lot on them because they don't seem to fold, so it's not like we can bluff. I guess we're getting rid of our 3s over here. That was going to be our play, as we were going to 3-bet that pot, but looks like player 3 beat us to it. So, and let's fix it. If this guy opens, we'll definitely try to isolate to him, because again, he's very loose and he's been playing a high rate. So we're definitely if we would have did that, look, we would probably been making the full 100 on that account. Again, we can't bet here. I don't expect to take it down, so we're gonna get called and burn through money. So now we picked up a club draw, so we'll definitely, and again, this guy, if we would like make the flush on the river, I guarantee if we bet it he would call off all the way, but looks like the spade came in. Again, we can't bluff. These guys have before have tried to make hero calls and things of that nature. So again, we would have definitely got paid off over here. Unfortunately, he had kings, but we would have lost that hand. It looks like. Excuse me, we wouldn't have got paid off. We would have been eating dice with a runner. And from last week when we were playing, it was pretty harsh week. Things like that was happening all the time to us. I think I mentioned in the weekly update, the hand that stuck out to me the most was flopped a set of kings on a king six. I want to say a 2. I can't. The other card was just random. It didn't even matter in the hand. So I bet, and the other guy raised me. I re-raised him all in. He tanked forever and called with like 2 seconds left on his timer, and he had a6, and it came out runner aces. So again, I've seen that all week. With the guy kings, he was already done dead in the water once the without hitting his kings there after the flop. So we'll kind of take note of that, and so when he is in the hand with us before, knowing he takes his top pairs too far, and we can look to get paid off. So down here, pretty standard. We want to go ahead. We're in position and raise this pot. And, like I said before, we're playing 50-cent tables. I expect us to get called. And probably on this flop, I don't really think that we're going to get, and as you can tell, these guys love playing with us. So any hand that's playable, we'll try to take one shot here. So now we checked. Before, I knew we were going to get paid, but we're not going to get crazy because they can easily have, and there, there's the cards coming on this guy. I told you he would not stop paying off, and there, 3-2. So down there is nothing we can do on the end with the 4th diamond coming to. There's just nothing to do. So again, these guys are going to call us off, so we're going to play a lot wider range, and then anytime we get a hand, we flop anything, we're going to be value betting it because their hand range is so wide, and unless they get total aggressive and shove all in, it just means they finally hit something, so we can kind of get away at that time. But they don't usually get aggressive unless they hit it. And here, again, no reason to bet. We're either out-kicked, so we're just going to control the pot size. Yes, we got draws out there, but we can't just bet because he can push the draw and take us off of it, but we can also be out-kicked. So we'll be happy just to flat here. And, with the king coming, it kind of less likely puts the king in his hand. We'll see if he bets really strong, we're probably going to call because that's more likely that he does not have the king. So again, no reason to really bet, and plus it invites him to make a bluff here on the river. And if he played a king that way, then I guess God bless him. But we're not giving up in that hand. So he might have had some type of pocket pair. Well, he actually had the club draw, and he missed. But again, we're not going to get him away. We're just inflating the pot. We're out of position. If we were in position, we can play a hand totally different. So in here, this guy has been kind of crazy. This is the guy that paid the other one off with his So we do got a backdoor and maybe an over, so if he did hit it, we're actually going to call. But the other play we can make is we're going to flat with and give him the impression that we are going to maybe have the king. So here, if he does bet again, we can maybe raise. Because now we have actually with the over probably. And then we also have the open-ended draw. So he bets pretty strong. So I don't think our raise has to be much to really accomplish what we want. And we're just going to get him to fold out. If he would have bet more of half pot, then I would have took that as more of a caution that he's trying to value bet it. But when he bets closer to the pot range, that means he's trying to, I think, get us out of the hand and represent that. And again, we're just patiently waiting on some hands. I know player one will probably pay us off. He seems to not give up in 3-bet pots, and he likes to call down. I don't think he's folded too many times after the flop. So, when we hit the hands, again, we're going to be valuing him. And we'll kind of rate, if we get to the river and he shoves. But the problem is if we hit our hand, we're going to be betting on the larger side because we know he calls. So it's also going to get us in a little bit of slight trouble towards the end of the hand, because then we're going to be getting kind of, your pot to stack ratio is going to be in line to where we're going to make a little bit more of a judgment call just because the money it's invested in the pot already versus what we have left to call off. One thing to mention is just want to kind of bring note to everybody. In the last weekly update, we announced the Say It Ain't So contest. So that came to an end and actually killed the lady who won it, Mary Lou. When the computer did the picking of the names, it kind of pronounced it. And, I heard it, but I was looking at the screen. I was like, okay, well, I went with what the computer had announced, and so her Marmalou or something like that is what I said. So it was actually Mary Lou. So my apologies to you, Mary Lou, which we've already talked and set up our lesson for next week on that. So she's very excited about getting involved, and she's, it was straight up front that she's very passive in her game. So we're going to be looking at ways to where she can add aggression into her hand. Again, this guy calls off over here, player 3, and goes too far. So this is the perfect hand to be playing. So when we hit, we know that he's going to pay us off. He is not full stacked, so our payoff is not as good. And the flop is not bad at all for us. Again, if he bets, we'd probably go ahead and again, he's betting on the larger side of the pot. So it's going to be interesting to see how he interprets two raises from him. I'd have probably seen he'll probably flat call with overs, and he might get totally frisky with like an ace king type of hand, and then we're just going to have to weigh that out, how he felt that fit into his range at that point. I would assume if he had a 9 or something like that, he would already pretty much snap called us. I don't think he would have raised. And if he had overs, he would have very quickly raised. When he takes a longer period of time, he might be sandbagging like a set or something like that, but I doubt it very seriously. But usually when he shoves at there at the end, it's pretty much shoving like an ace-queen, ace-king type of hand. But back to the Say It Ain't So contest. Also, the other thing is I'm going to probably only mention this once, but we give away at the end of the show a surprise Say It Ain't So package. So, and kind of the reason doing it at the end of the show is just to see if people actually watch the full show or just kind of went the hell with it whenever we announce the winner. And so that person who won has not contacted us, and again, this is the only time we're going to mention it. For the 14 days, you will be fitting the package if you hadn't contacted us. All right, so I had to take a quick little break there, but I'm back. Didn't really miss much. This guy's got himself in trouble again. This guy's been kind of more on the passive side. I think he's picked up that he's, bluffing a lot and playing those type of hands, but, he was suckering him in there. And it's the same ordeal that we're going to be looking to make once we get in there. So, just since we've been here, this guy's already lost 80, and then this guy's lost about another 80 himself. So hopefully they'll just keep bleeding it off, and we'll be one of the recipients of that. You guys will have to. You can please comment on the audio if you think it is better. If there's something else you'd like to see tweaked, just please let us know, and we'll try to do our best to get that taken care of. And again, down here at this 50-cent table, we're going to see people paying off at a higher rate than you will at the upper levels. And so hands like the king-queen suited broadways play very well. And again, when you got any type of draw with them, you want to go ahead and bet. Unfortunately, the 10 came, so if somebody did have a 10 or a jack, then we're pretty much drawing dead at this point. So not much we're going to do about that hand at that point, but we are going to push them any other time, any type of draw. And up here, we're not going to inflate the pot against these two idiots. Again, we'll just bleed money. Kind of wish the flop included 2 spades, or 1 spade at least, so we can actually make a call here with our gut shot. And then had a backdoor draw of some sort, but looks like that wouldn't have got there either. But again, the cards tonight are just coming out real funky. Like seeing a lot of boards like this. I know it comes out in sequences, but just seems to be one of those nights where things are just gonna be a little nuts. So you may have to think a little bit more. Is like, okay, but then you shouldn't be doing that because in theory everything should equals itself out over the time that cards could be coming. But it's just a little bit of something, and just I've always picked up on that. It seems like my nights usually go the where they do, and it's probably because you're trying to be paranoid and you're actually looking for spots like that. And again, we're not gonna be messing around with our ace king out of position. Player 1 has shown to call larger 3 bets, so we're going to be calling that, hoping to get player 3 out of the way. So he min raises us here, and he is very aggressive. But the min raise is what scares me, in the sense, well, I don't say scare me. Is usually it's only done with aces and kings. So we elect to take the flop. We're out of position. We're both deeper than normal in stack sizing. So the thing is would he do it with an ace-king type of hand? Yes. Would he do it with an aces? Would he do it with kings? Would he do it with queens? Yes. And possibility of jacks. So where's our hand stand? Really, we only beat 2 of those hands, the aces and jacks, if we have the overs and we do hit. If we were spades, I don't mind. We could have shoved it in right here and make the call. But other than that, we're just getting it in pretty poorly here to make that call. And on the flop, because he min raised us, there's no sense unless we decided, hey, he's going to just with jacks or queens, and that's the bigger part of his range, where he would have probably flat us with his aces and kings. And then up here, this time we have the button, whereas before we didn't want to inflate the pot because we were out of position. We wanted to kind of push the hand a little bit. I would love to see a diamond of some sort on this flop, because I know we're going to get called, so we are going to bet and expect to be called. And again, we're going to probably push a lot on this hand because, again, we're going to be betting for value until they actually retaliate in some form or fashion. So the players on this table are pretty, I mean, player 3 is going to be a guy who pays us off. Player 5, he's unfortunately sitting half stack. And then player 1 is also pretty loose. And then down here is 6 is playing tight. Unfortunately, the guy who was crazy, we didn't get to get much reads on. I mean, even if he had pocket pair of some fortune when we had the ace-king, we're still at best a little bit worse than coin flip, so we're probably like maybe like 45% winner at that time, equity in the hand. But, you know, we would just been getting it in bad right there. But it's unfortunate that he actually left. So, again, like I said, player 6 is pretty tight. Player 2 is, I think, okay. I don't remember him playing many hands. And that's just a weird opening bet sizing. So there's really no reason to do this kind of opening bet sizing. So if you guys are doing it, I would stop. Now, here's the situation we got in now. We're going to bet on the further side of this because if he hit a jack, he ain't going away. And if he's got 19, he's not going away. So we're actually going to make the call because of what's in the pot sizing. And our hand plays very well. We just unfortunately didn't get a flop that plays well with our hand, so we're giving up. But yeah, with 2 people knowing this guy's going to pay off at a high rate, then this could be a hand. So, I mean, you look at his bet sizing. He's bet 550. Now he's come out and he bet pot. You're pretty much going to say that's the way he plays premiums. If not playing premiums, he plays his 9s and his 10s that way because he just doesn't know how else to play them after the flop. So it'd have been interesting to see what he would have done on like a king or a jack or a queen on that flop. We would have still checked to him because we wouldn't want to bet and then him raise this and then we can't make the call in the hand. Looks like we got a big blind special going on down here on the bottom table. So we are going to, again, it's a small pot. We're going to just be firing off. I mean, the heart draw's there, so now the straight draw came in. But we are just going to continue to fire. The heart draw didn't make it in, so, and the guy, and who knows, I guess, because he was hoping for the 3. It's what he called the flop bet, and then the turn, I guess, when he had the spade draw, it's fine. But again, we just went ahead and bet there at the end. It's funny. The 50-cent table, you're just going to get called down by just some garbage a lot of the time, so you just got to look past it. On this table up here, we hit the 3. Again, another big blind special. We got a backdoor heart draw. Boy, did I have like a northern accent going on this then? I don't even know if I can repeat it. Door. Of course, we're not going to call a pot bet. Lord have mercy. These people in their bet sizing. What in the world? I don't know what that guy... I guess he's talking to me. No, I don't know. That's weird. He's calling somebody a dick, so I guess welcome to the club. I've been called worse. Wow. Man, the back doors are just smashing everywhere right now. Oh, very interesting. And again, it makes you wonder, like, how do they even get to that point? So here, you know, Jack 8, of course, is a winner. Or, you know, King Jack is a winner. Unfortunately, the queen came, so we are just going to bet half pot. If he shoves on us, we fold. But we're just naming our price where he's going to raise the straight. He may not raise it with the two queens being on board. Pretty interesting to see. I mean, unfortunately, a king or something like that. If he's got kings or something, if he's got jacks, I think he would already made the call. But any lower pair that he might call off with there, then of course we would win that one with our queens and tens. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap this show up for this episode. So until next time, good luck at the tables.